What's up, everybody? This is Jack from Crypto 49er, bringing you my knowledge in cryptocurrency. So yes, I'm back. It's been a month. Took a month off, as you guys saw in my last video. So it's been great. It's almost like I don't want to make videos anymore because I just relaxed too much. But obviously, I'm back. At least I'm trying to make at least one video this week, and we'll go from there. Just to fulfill my promise that I am coming back at least to make videos, not just like some other YouTubers that all of a sudden disappear off the face of the earth. So anyway, today's video is about the Gekko Plus Contest. No, this is actually, if you see on the webpage here, this is the Gekko Plus Contest. This is actually something that happened last year where Axe Mike, the creative Gekko, created the contest to build more interest into Gekko Plus. So Gekko Plus is actually now live now, but I would say it's a little bit expensive for people that either follow my channel or that know how to create their own bots, where they know how to set up a VM, be able to set up their own bots. Gekko Plus is a little expensive for that, but if you don't know and you don't have time, maybe it is for you. So anyway, point is, the winner of this contest was Fabrice. Second place was supposedly Odine, but this particular strategy only ran one trade, so didn't do anything. So IWannaBeRich Private was the second place winner of this contest. And it just so happened that I found the strategy for IWannaBeRich a little while ago. So this might not be the exact same strategy that was in the Gekko Plus contest, but it's very likely that it shares a lot of similarities. So I'm just going to go over what it looks like. So IWannaBeRich strategy for Gekko bot. Basically, this guy that created, I guess it's Taglia90, he created the strategy IWannaBeRich, and he actually has 3 different versions. So there's IWannaBeRich-BBRSI, and then there's the original IWannaBeRich, and then there's the IWannaBeRich-MI, which is multiple indicators. The idea is, when I was reading into the strategy, like I think he mentioned that the overall idea of this strategy is that it uses multiple indicators, and that on backtesting, as he said, it gives very good profit on BTC-Doge pair. But in live trading, there's volume problems when buying or selling. That's basically pretty much every Gekko bot user problem. I think it's something that is very common and something that I have mentioned and dealt with in a previous video, at least for backtesting, regarding setting up your backtest so that you can actually test for these volume problems. So it's really more of a way to test the volume problems. I haven't really found a way to fix it, unfortunately, but at least it's something that you should be aware of, and maybe perhaps think about ways to incorporate volume in your strategy. So let's go into his strategies here, and you can see that he actually has the TLML files along with the JavaScript strategy. So you can run this either on command line or in the UI. But let's go over his strategy here. It's a very basic one. He really does use BB, Bollinger Bands, RSI, and MACD. So it's just a basic init function, and then he uses the trend. The trend is actually what is used to determine when to buy or sell your particular trade pair. You see, again, he added these 3 indicators, and let's go back up here. You see that actually, I think he added these 3 indicators here, but they were never called, at least not from these variables. So I'm not even sure. I don't think you needed to call it this way, but anyway, it was just something that I noticed. So, and then the update function here, again, this is something that originally it's in here, but you see it's all commented out. And then you also wonder, why isn't the candle being fed into each of the indicators? So that's something that I wonder anyway when I looked at this particular strategy. Then I just pulled up a simple MACD strategy here, and I realized that even in the MACD, it doesn't actually need to populate, it doesn't need to feed the candle information. So I probably have been running Gekko in multiple time frames to a point where I forgot that you don't really need to feed candle information into the indicators. I mean, unless you are using multiple time frames. So since this strategy doesn't use multiple time frames, it's perfectly safe not to have anything inside the update function. You could practically just delete it. So going down to the log function right here, this logs all the different indicators, basically the Bollinger Band, the upper, middle, lower, and same thing for the RSI logging, the results, the price, and the MACD. So Now in the check function, this is where it's really the heart of the function, right? So after it gets all the indicator information for the BB, the RSI, and the MACD, it's really gonna use those three indicators to determine an uptrend. So essentially, if the price is lower than the BB lower, and the RSI value is below a certain RSI setting. So I think if you go into the TOML file here, the RSI is low as 40. So anything that's below 40 on the RSI is considered potential for uptrend. And then the MACD. The last item it looks at is the MACD. So if the MACD is greater than this settings that MACD up, which in the TOML file, the MACD up is 0.025. So if all of these three indicators are true for this particular setting, then it's going to check if the direction is if we're currently in the uptrend. If it's not, it's going to set the trend to uptrend, and then it's going to go in and populate these things like duration, persisted, and obviously the direction, and the advice. So if it's already in the uptrend, it's just going to increase the duration. So the thing is, even when the direction changes, when it changes, it immediately updates the duration. So the duration will be set to 1 as soon as the direction changes, because whether or not this is true, this will always run, right? Because once it enters this block, it's going to run this code right here, this.trend.duration plus. So even though such duration is 0 right here, you might as well just set to 1 in a sense, because it's really just going to be updating the duration immediately after it changes direction. And then this is where it'll check the duration against the persistence, the RSI persistence, and the duration against the MACD persistence. So MACD and RSI persistence has to persist a certain amount of time. So for RSI, it has to persist basically 9 candles, and same thing for MACD. So we're talking about like it has to persist for quite a bit of time before before it actually sets this value, this.trend.persisted equals true. So it has to wait until the RSI is 40 for 9 candles, and it has to wait until MACD to be at 0.05, greater than 0.025 for 9 candles. So it's got to be basically hanging around that area for quite a bit. So when that happens, that's when this.trend.persisted equals true. And then when this.trend.persisted equals true and it hasn't given advice, that's when it actually sends out a buy advice. So this part right here, else this.advice is blank. This is really the part where I was saying Taglia 90 might not be too familiar with the Gekko, but in terms of how it handles advices, because you might as well just drop off this whole block of code, the else block right here, because there's no point. It's just going to ignore this.advice, go blank. If you go into base trading method, I believe, or either base trading method or trader.js, you'll see that if it sees a blank in this advice, if there's no parameters being passed into the advice function, it's just going to ignore it. So there's really no point to send this code out in your strategy. So this basically the opposite happens in the downtrend, and you'll see the same exact thing. It's going to check for downtrend based on the variables. If it's true, then it's going to change direction, and then it's going to wait for persistence of again 9 candles, and then it's going to say, okay, let's sell it. So from my point of view here, this strategy, I'm just going to open trading view. This particular strategy is not going to be able to catch the bottoms and tops perfectly. It's going to wait 9 candles essentially. So it's good in a sense where like it will probably miss some of the more problematic turns where like if it drops some and then it's going to drop some more. So maybe I think maybe around here, this is a good example. So if it starts dropping, for example, and then it's going to drop more like here, it's going to miss this part, but it's still buy, and it's still gonna catch a falling knife essentially, because it's gonna fall into this problem. So it's tricky. Maybe it's not quite right for hourly. I mean, my first thought is that this persistence will make it where you probably need to run it on a 5-minute time frame, but it could be could be very well be that this match you might need something as long as a 4-hour time frame to actually make sure that you don't catch some falling knives. Looking at it this way, it probably is a better bet to to run on a 4-hour time frame. At least this is just like total conjecture from my part here. based on just a quick peek of what the strategy is looking for. But again, the main reason why I brought up the strategy is the fact that it is a winner on the contest. At least it might be the roots of what was used to create a winning strategy. It might not be the winning strategy. Again, I think supposedly all of these strategies are not publicly available. So as the fact that I found a publicly available version of the strategy means that either Axmike didn't completely wasn't able to find this particular strategy somehow, some way, or it's just that this strategy is not the same version as the one that was used in the contest. But again, there's 3 different strategies in here. There's you could definitely take a look at all 3 of them and perhaps be able to get some more ideas on how to play with strategies that use multiple indicators. And this is something that's good for me in my opinion anyway, just because I built out strategies that use multiple indicators in the past, but I think this one's a lot neater, at least the way that it organizes how each of the strategies will kick off a potential buy or sell. So definitely something for you guys to look into, and I'm happy to say that I'm back, and I'm happy to be looking back at Gekko stuff. So that's my video for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Sorry I haven't been able to get to a lot of comments like you guys have left me over the past month, but I'll try to answer some of them over the next couple of days. As always, I'm on Patreon. I appreciate it if you become a patron. As I mentioned already in my last video, but I'll mention again, I cut down all the different levels down to 1 level right now. It's a $2 level where you guys can support me at the $2 level, and you'll be able to get a monthly post of the different ideas I have in the current crypto market, which I still believe is a bull market, even though we have saw some pullback of late. So, and also I want to thank Christopher Corrett for becoming one of my latest patrons. So thanks for Christopher. If it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining, it isn't worth speculating. Peace out.